Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. All right. Welcome to another podcast. What's going on, Garfield?
Oh, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Just trying to get all this information together, try to get everybody out there important dates coming up for peak season.
Just get right into it. Start off
Yep.
peak season for seasonals, October 15th to January 15th.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's kind of always the way peak season's been. And, but there's so many other dates going on. But, in years past, if you were hired off the street, you used to be able to gain seniority during peak season. Well, no longer. The specific languages in no event shall a new hire have a better opportunity than a seniority employee for days to count towards seniority.
Yeah.
So, they took that out. So, which I never understood. I was like, what is going on here? How do they have a better opportunity? So, so that's the start of peak season. What do you got, Garfield?
That probably actually worked out pretty well for a lot of the COVID drivers who came in probably around those peak seasons and stuff. We were so heavy that probably worked out in their favor. But we got to take care. You got to take care of the people that are working up the seniority. Seniority is what's important. That's one of the reasons we have the union. That's one of the things we support.
Yeah.
If you've been here longer, you deserve that chance to move up.
I'll get to the next thing. So November 1st.
Yep.
Till January 1st, no more 8-hour requests.
So, and this is the thing that always confuses my guys is we stop requesting 8 hours November 1st, but then the next date, November 15th, that's when 9-5 starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I would have loved to have had some consolidation there because it doesn't make sense. Oh, well, you can't request 8 hours, but you can still file 9-5 grievances. So yeah.
I know, but yeah, that's I mean, that's just the way it is.
That's the way it is. That's the way the contract reads.
Yes, exactly. Get them all in, and so what's next, Garfield? What's the next dates?
Like I said, the 9-5. That's November 15th to January 15th. That's when your 9-5 rules start. And it's important too. Another important date, January 5th is when you have to have your 9-5 list turned in to the company. Everybody that intends on being on the 9-5 list for the next year. So be sure you're, get with your stewards, get with your BAs, when that stuff comes around the beginning of the year to make sure that list is out there so everybody can get their names on it that doesn't want to be over 9-5. Be sure you get that taken care of because that's something that a lot of people have found out the hard way. Like if you want to be on that compliance list come summer when it gets warm up, you got to be on the 9-5 list early. Get your grievances get on that compliance list so that, you can have decent days when it's hot out there.
So just so we clarify again, the PVDs are now SSDs, right?
Oh yeah. Yep. SSDs, and seasonal support drivers.
Yes. And then the RPCDs in the contract, they're called PCDs now.
Yep.
Did we get to the off the street?
No, that's
November 15th.
Yeah. November 15th to December 26th.
Yes, and that's specific for off the street. So got to make sure they're not using them past that date. That's it. And we didn't want the SSDs in there, and they're in there. So we got to make sure they don't work a day past it.
Nope.
December 26th. Part-timers who already worked there November 1st to January 15th, they should obviously be able to do it longer. I mean, there's a lot of different dates, and we just got to make sure that we get everything together. Also, we're going to add to that the option selection. That's supposed to be done in September. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Make sure that option selection. I told my supervisors 2 weeks ago. They're like, I said, let's get it done. They're like, well, it's a little early. I'm like, no, it's September.
Yeah.
We're in September, so it's like, okay, let's get it done. They thought it was October, so right away. You see the dragging already. Oh God, and it's funny because they want to, they're coming after everyone now for attendance, for this, that, where they were letting it go.
Nitpicking,
so they want to go specific. Yeah. Okay. So let's get it done by September, and let's make sure we get all the vacations done by October.
Yep. That's right. I mean, that's all of your vacations in your entire center, part-time, full-time, everybody. they should be done in the month of October. You shouldn't be
Yeah.
selecting. You shouldn't be selecting vacations in November, December, January of next year. You
And
know,
it's like they do, and they think it's okay. But if they're gonna start coming after us for different things, no, you know what? No, we're gonna hold them to exactly that.
yeah,
We're gonna hold them to exactly what the contract says, and
yep.
it's just been ridiculous how they've just been coming after people. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing.
Like we don't
So,
have
but
peak right around the corner.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
know, and let's check for socks too, because the socks are going to deliver packages all of a sudden, you know, and you know, it's another. Let's see one of the other changes. So for vacations, it's instead of 10 years, it takes 9 years to get 3 weeks of vacation. So, ooh, I mean, I mean, what? It's almost like a slap in the face.
listen, there are people out there that are going to be happy to have that extra vacation,
True,
a year
true.
early this coming year. I'm happy for them, but
Yeah.
it should have been different. It should have been
Yeah,
sooner.
it should have been 5.
Yeah,
It would have been nice 7, maybe,
yeah, yeah,
just but I mean, we're at where we're at. And so I mean, those are some of the dates we want to make sure that just, as peak season comes up, I mean, again, everyone's got to work safe. And as it gets
yes,
closer, we'll remind people again. I mean, come on, just work safe. So on to another subject that I touched upon is the being late, right?
yes.
The supervisors were letting it go for a little while, and then all of a sudden they pulled out the bottom, and then they're starting to give attendance issues, right? Now, you always have to be on time, right? We always say, you have to be
Absolutely.
on time. Things happen though, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was they would tell I brought into the office with a member, oh yeah, I told the supervisor, we called the other supervisor, and he's like, yeah, but I forgot to put it in. So the other supervisor's like, well, that was your responsibility. Wait a minute. The supervisor said he would take care of it and it wouldn't be an issue. Now you want to give it to him? Well, that's an integrity issue. That's a
Yep.
huge integrity issue. So and then they go into, well, there were other dates that they were late, and they're like, oh, I have it on this paper. I'm like, so where did you get this from? Well, here, let me show you my computer. I was like, oh, so technology, huh? Right? Trying to do, I mean, but what I'm saying is they're going to come after people for attendance now. If they've been giving you leeway, here they come.
Don't give them
It's
any excuses. They're
no,
certainly on one right now, especially because UPS just announced they were going to lay off a whole bunch more people, and
yeah,
apparently, them having to lay off a bunch of corporate jobs affects us as well. So we'll
yeah.
see.
Yeah, it's just amazing. But I mean, for stewards, you always got to be prepared. They're going to
Yeah.
do this. How get with your other stewards? How you going to go in the office? How you going to deal with this? You
One more
know?
thing,
Yeah.
whatever you do, if you show up late, don't change your start time
Oh my
because
God, I tell you.
that's dishonesty, and they'll
Oh
fire
yeah.
you for that. They'll walk you the fuck
Ah,
out for that. And like, it's not
yep.
worth it. It's worth like getting a warning letter for showing up late because, there was traffic or something is one
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Changing your
Mhm.
start. Oh, I'll just change my start time by a couple of minutes so I won't show up late. Well, then somebody goes through and checks all the start times and sees you're a couple minutes late and be like, oh, you changed this. Dishonesty. Bye.
Yeah, and then I tell people all the time, been telling for so many years, don't touch your board. Whatever the start time is, we'll work it. And I always tell people to document what they have to do, and I give them an app to document their time.
Yeah.
Just in case. I mean, you always have to be protecting yourself. So you have the
Yes.
app, you do that. It's always on there. Look, this matches up. This is right. It'll remind you, hey, make sure you fix your time. It calculates the overtime, everything for you. So I mean, just yeah, don't touch it. Just
Yeah.
just just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. But so we touched upon the dates for peak season. That was good. We wanted to make sure as it gets closer, we'll bring it up again. Just so everyone knows the dates, and just wanted to touch upon the attendance, and just maybe get up early or whatever it is. Just
Do
don't
what you
take a
got to do.
chance because they're coming after you.
Yeah.
And they're going to be coming after people for socks because that's important. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but they're a known entity, the company, they're going to pull their crap. So for myself and Garfield, I want to thank you for joining us, and everyone have a good day.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.